Ladies and gentlemen, many of you might know by now, Bernie Sanders had a heart attack. And when I read through this thing from the New York Times, I just saw some things in here that was weird, And I'll go over that as I move into this article. So, this happened just this past week. So, this is October 4th, 2019. Bernie Sanders had a heart attack, his doctors say, as he leaves hospital. So, what happened, ladies and gentlemen? And, many of you that have been following me for a while know that I told you that my mom had heart disease. So, I know what heart problems look like. I lived with heart problems, I saw it every day. And he went to the hospital to have a very common procedure done. He had stents put in. My mother had stents as well. And what happened was, as he left the hospital, he started having chest pains. Now, we'll get into it so you can understand where I'm going with this whole thing. So, Senator Bernie Sanders had a heart attack this week, his presidential campaign said on Friday. So, they were actually asking questions about Bernie Sanders' health as far back as Tuesday. But none of his campaign managers and people that work for him would answer any questions at that point in time. So Bernie Sanders is 78 years old. He entered the hospital Tuesday night after experiencing chest pains at a campaign event, and doctors had inserted two stents in a blocked artery, a relatively common procedure. And right, it is very common. If you're around people with heart problems and they had those heart problems for many years, then more than likely they got some stents. And they'll even tell you about it if you ask. Yeah, I got some stents in there, you know? Um, heart disease is not really the death sentence that you think. My mother had heart disease and she lasted well over damn near 25 years with heart problems. It wasn't until like the last year of her life she could no longer get around. But prior to that, my mom was up and out the bed every day with heart problems, every single day. So, so that's what happened. So the campaign did not confirm Mr. Sanders had a heart attack until Friday, inviting questions about his condition. And he, in his campaign's transparency, as he remained off the campaign trail this week, television cameras filmed Mr. Sanders as he left the hospital, waving at onlookers and pumping his fists, then driving off in a sports utility vehicle. So that's what happened. And then, ladies and gentlemen, as they were on the road driving away from the hospital, he started having chest pains. Now, they went to an urgent care center. I don't know why they did that. What they should have done was turn around and go directly back to the hospital. Urgent care can't do nothing for a heart attack. You got to be at a hospital facility for something like that. They don't have all of the equipment that you would need for a person having a heart attack. But that's what they did, and to me, that was a very critical thing. When somebody's having a heart attack, time is very critical, that you get them right away to a facility so that they can get some help. And I don't know why they did that. Maybe they saw it and just went to the nearest thing, but they really should have doubled back and went to the hospital. So, he was actually in the hospital prior to leaving 2.5 days. And he said he felt great. He was taking walks and everything, and he was finally released. So And in the article talks about the age of a lot of the top candidates that are out there. Joe Biden is 76, Elizabeth Warren is 70, and we know Trump is 73. So all of the top candidates right now are in their 70s in this presidential race. So, but if Mr. Sanders has until this week largely avoided questions about his health, he has projected an image of fitness as a candidate and has maintained a blistering schedule on the campaign trail. Spotlight is now squarely on him. Running for president is a physical and emotional trial, and the presidency itself is even more demanding, said David Axelrod. And he's right. You know, that is a job where you're constantly on the move. You're constantly on the move. Even as president, you're constantly going from place to place, flying overseas, coming back home, and you rarely get any time to really rest. That's why when you look at even younger candidates that run for president, by the time they're at the end of their presidency, you can clearly see how much they aged. Even in Obama, Obama went into the White House with black hair. Obama left that White House with a snow dome, okay? Because that is a very, that life is very tough, even for the average person to always be on the go. Years ago, I had a friend that had a job and they were in sales and they had to go all over the country selling. So he made good money. He made excellent money. I forgot what he was selling, but I remember he made excellent money. And by the time he stopped, he had aged a lot and put weight on because he was on the run. As long as he was on the run, he stayed thin. But as soon as he slowed down, he started gaining weight. But he said he got tired of living out of suitcases. It's like he was going from one place to the next in a suitcase, and he just got sick of that after a while. And he just wanted more stability in his life. And I certainly understood. That's a tough life to live, even for these candidates to always be constantly running around. So Sanders began experiencing chest discomfort on Tuesday evening at a grassroots fundraiser he was hosting at the Las Vegas restaurant. As he began taking questions from the audience, he asked a campaign aide for a chair. He did not stay much longer at the event and became visibly uncomfortable in a car afterwards, according to two campaign officials who spoke on the condition, but they spoke anonymously. Okay. At that point, Sanders was taken to an urgent care facilities where doctors determined he should be transferred to a hospital. Yes, because urgent care can't do anything for heart problems. If you're having chest pains, don't go to the urgent care. Go straight to a hospital. They don't have the equipment or the appropriate facility for heart problems like that, especially a heart attack. Doing something like that, you're really just wasting time. So at the hospital, when he returned back to the hospital, he was taken immediately to cardiac catheterization laboratory where doctors inserted stents. And he was talking, they said while he was in the hospital, he was talking to his campaign manager. He spent 3 nights at the hospital. He canceled some events and appearances he was supposed to make for the week. He was released, and they thought that was the extent of his heart problems, but it wasn't. He had a heart attack. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's his wife. You don't see her that often. But yeah, I believe that's Bernie Sanders' wife next to. I saw her a long time ago. She looks the same, just older. And a heart attack means that a portion of the heart muscle died, starved of blood when a vessel was blocked. Dr. Gilbert Tang, a heart surgeon at Mount Sinai in New York, said. The first question is, how serious was the heart attack? Was the muscle, what muscle was damaged and how much? Will that affect the heart's function? Dr. Tang said. If it was a significant portion of the heart, will that affect the heart's ability to pump? If only a small portion of heart muscle was damaged, he added, Mr. Sanders should make a full recovery, even at 78. These days, recovery does depend on the age, so much as other medical issues like lung problems, he said. That doesn't mean that Mr. Sanders can simply continue as if nothing happened. Exactly. He won't be able to. You know, I'm sure his doctors advised him to be careful. You know, Sanders would normally also take a cocktail of drugs to reduce his risk of another heart attack, including powerful anti-clogging medications that require close monitoring for a month, Dr. Tang said. So, ladies and gentlemen, we know Bernie Sanders is not the picture of health. And yes, this is the same candidate that said we did not deserve reparations, the same candidate. So if he returns back, who knows? Who knows? But I think now no one's going to be comfortable voting for a president having heart attacks. You know, even while on the campaign trail, you haven't even gotten into the presidency, you know? And I do believe this is going to make a major impact on his campaign. Now, according to this article, Bernie Sanders is resting at his home in Burlington, Vermont. It did not say anything about him returning to the campaign trail at all as of yet. So please tell me what you think, y'all. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.